What if she's also doing no contact with you? What if the silence you're sitting in is not just your silence, but hers too? Think about that for a moment. You've been told that no contact is the ultimate test, that it's about distance, about cutting communication, to heal, to rebuild, to reset. But what happens when the very person you're holding back from is holding back from you at the same time? This is the question that shakes people to their core, because deep down the mind starts spinning with doubts. What if she doesn't care anymore? What if she's forgotten me? What if this silence isn't a test, but the end? These questions haunt the quiet hours of the night. They creep in during the day, and they push you toward a dangerous edge, the urge to break the silence first. But pause here. Understand this truth. Silence is not a sign of defeat. Silence is not a weapon meant to destroy you. Silence is the mirror that reveals what you are truly made of. Most people can't handle silence. They're addicted to noise, text messages, calls, validation, little signs that they still matter. When the noise stops, they collapse. They start to chase. They beg. They plead. They break the very boundary they swore to hold, and in doing so, they hand away all their power. But the question still lingers, what if she's also doing no contact? The answer is both simple and brutal. It means the game has shifted. It's no longer about who reaches out first. It's about who grows stronger in the absence. You see, no contact is often misunderstood. People think it's just a strategy, a trick to make someone miss you, but it's deeper than that. No contact is discipline. It's the act of reclaiming yourself when everything inside you is screaming to reach out. It's the art of holding your ground when your emotions beg you to cave. And if she's also doing it, then this is not a battle of words. It's a battle of patience, of resilience, of inner strength. Imagine the silence between you not as emptiness, but as pressure. Like two tectonic plates pressing against each other, building energy, waiting for the inevitable shift. That pressure can either break you or transform you. Most crumble under it. But those who hold firm, those who let the silence shape them rather than shatter them, they come out of it unrecognizable. Think of it this way. If she's not reaching out, it doesn't automatically mean she's gone forever. Maybe she's healing. Maybe she's reflecting. Maybe she's waiting to see if you are who you claim to be, and maybe, just maybe, she's testing the silence too. But here's the part you must never forget. Whether she comes back or not, the silence is still working in your favor. Because silence exposes weakness. If you break first, you reveal that you cannot handle your own emotions, that your strength was just a mask. But if you endure, if you transform the silence into fuel, then you emerge with a kind of unshakable presence that no one can ignore. Ask yourself, why does the idea of her doing no contact scare you? It scares you because it takes away your sense of control. You think you're the one pulling back, but when she pulls back too, suddenly you realize you're not in charge. But control is an illusion. The only thing you can ever control is yourself, your actions, your thoughts, your growth. And that is exactly what silence forces you to confront. So, what if she's also doing no contact? Then let her hold the silence. Let her test the space. Because in that void, you are being given the rarest opportunity life ever hands out, the chance to become stronger without anyone's permission. Silence is uncomfortable, yes. It gnaws at you. It whispers lies in your ear, telling you she's gone, telling you she doesn't care, telling you that waiting is useless. But silence is also honest. It strips away illusions. It forces you to see who you really are without her words, her presence, her reassurance. And that vision, though painful at first, is the beginning of your true power. So when you find yourself asking, what if she's also doing no contact with me? Don't see it as a threat. See it as a gift. Because now the stage is clear, the noise is gone, and all that remains is the raw, unfiltered reality of who you are. The question is not whether she breaks first. The question is whether you can face the silence without breaking yourself. If you can, then no matter what happens next, you win. No contact is not punishment, it is not revenge, and it is not a childish game of who can ignore who longer. Too many people misunderstand it. They think it's about power, about control, about winning. But the truth is far deeper than that. Nobelium contact is about space. Space to breathe, space to reflect, space to rediscover who you are outside of another person's presence. When you hear that she is also doing no contact, your first instinct might be to panic. You might believe it means she has moved on, that she has already let go, that her silence is proof she no longer cares. But stop for a moment. Silence is not evidence of disinterest. Silence is evidence of a search. She, just like you, is searching for clarity. She is stepping back, not necessarily to erase you, but perhaps to see you more clearly. Think of it this way: when you stand too close to a painting, all you see are the brush strokes. The chaos of lines and colors makes no sense, but when you step back, the picture emerges. Distance reveals the art. In the same way, sometimes both people need distance to truly see what they had, what they lost, and what still exists between them. This is why you cannot let fear interpret the silence for you. Fear always tells the worst story. Fear says, she's gone, she's with someone else, she doesn't even think about you. But that is fear's narrative, not reality. The truth is, her silence may mean she's working through her own emotions, just as you are. It may mean she needs time to heal from old wounds. It may mean she is watching to see if your words and actions line up, or if you crumble under pressure. Here's the truth most people refuse to accept. No contact is not about her at all. It is about you. It is not about what she thinks, feels, or does. It is about how you respond to uncertainty, how you stand firm in discomfort, how you grow when the thing you want most is just out of reach. When both of you are silent, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking nothing is happening. But in reality, everything is happening. Silence is movement. Silence is energy. Silence is the soil where new strength begins to grow. You may not see it yet, but every day you remain disciplined in that silence, you are shifting. You are learning to master yourself. You are teaching yourself that your value is not determined by someone else's attention, but by the character you build in solitude. And here's the part that might surprise you. Her silence does not diminish you. It validates the process. If she is also stepping back, it means she too understands the need for space. It means she too sees value in reflection. And that is not something to fear, that is something to respect. Because it shows that the bond between you is not about constant chasing, but about patience, strength, and truth. Too often, people rush back into communication before the silence has done its work. They break early. They reach out not because they are healed, but because they are desperate. And what happens then? The cycle repeats. The old problems return. Nothing changes. That is why no contact exists. To break the cycle, to create the distance necessary for real change. So when you find yourself asking, what if she's also doing no contact? Understand what it truly means. It means she is not rushing. It means she is allowing herself the same space you are being forced to confront. And that is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of a new chapter. Silence is not absence. Silence is presence in a different form. It is presence without words, presence without constant validation. And if you can embrace that, you will realize something powerful. Her silence is not against you. Her silence is with you, because only in silence can both of you discover whether this connection was fragile convenience or unshakable truth. So reframe it. Don't call it punishment. Don't call it rejection. Don't call it the end. Call it what it really is, space. And space, when used with discipline, creates clarity. Clarity creates truth, and truth always creates the outcome that is meant to last. When the silence grows heavy, the mind naturally turns outward. It begins obsessing over what she is doing, who she might be with, what thoughts are running through her head. Questions swarm like bees. Is she missing me? Is she happy without me? Is she waiting for me to break? These questions are traps. They are designed by fear and fueled by insecurity. The longer you chase them, the further you drift from yourself. This is where the shift must happen. You cannot live your life through someone else's actions. You cannot place your peace, your progress, your sense of worth in the hands of another person's silence. If she is also doing no contact, then the worst mistake you can make is to sit around measuring her absence while ignoring your own growth. So ask yourself, who am I becoming in this silence? This is the most important question you can face. Because the truth is, silence is a forge. It burns away weakness, it melts down insecurity, and it gives you the chance to be reshaped, but only if you stop staring outward and start looking inward. Think about the person you were when this silence began. Were you dependent on her attention for your happiness? Did you lose yourself in the relationship, forgetting your own goals, your own vision, your own identity? Did you neglect the parts of your life that once made you strong, confident, and alive? If the answer is yes, then understand that this silence is not punishment. It is opportunity. Now is the time to reclaim your discipline, to put your energy into becoming someone greater than you were yesterday. Build the habits you once ignored. Pour into your fitness, your career, your purpose, your friendships, your passions. Redefine what strength looks like for you, not because you want to impress her, but because you refuse to let silence break you. Here's the paradox. When you stop waiting for her to notice you, you become noticeable. When you stop needing her to validate you, you become valuable. When you stop chasing what is outside of your control, you unlock the kind of presence that no one can overlook. That is why this shift is critical. If you remain stuck in questions about her, you remain stuck in weakness. If you place your focus on yourself, you rise into strength. And in the end, that is what no contact is testing. Not whether she misses you, but whether you can become someone worth missing. Consider this: if she is silent and you are silent, then the outcome will be decided by growth. If you use this time to sit, wait, and wonder, then the silence will destroy you. But if you use this time to sharpen your mind, strengthen your body, and expand your vision, then the silence will transform you. Do not underestimate the power of this shift. History is full of people who were reborn in solitude. Great leaders, thinkers, creators, and warriors all understood the value of retreat. When the noise of the world fell silent, they found themselves, and in finding themselves, they became unstoppable. You are being given the same chance. Right now, in this very moment, the silence you fear is the silence that can set you free. Stop asking what she is doing. Stop wondering what she is thinking. Those questions only drain you. Instead, start asking, what am I building today? Who am I becoming this week? How much stronger will I be when this silence finally ends? Because here is the truth. If she comes back and finds the same person she left, the silence was wasted. But if she comes back and finds someone transformed, someone disciplined, someone unrecognizable in strength and purpose, then the silence has done its work. And if she never comes back at all, you still win. Because the transformation you gain will outlast every relationship, every rejection, every silence you will ever face. So shift the focus. Stop staring into the void she left behind. Stop measuring your worth by the sound of her voice or the absence of her words. The only thing that matters now is who you become while the world is quiet. Because when the silence ends, and it always does, you will either return as the same fragile soul you were before, or you will rise as someone who no silence, no rejection, and no absence can ever break again. Patience. The very word feels heavy, almost bitter on the tongue. Nobody likes it, nobody wants it. Yet patience is the rarest form of power a person can ever hold. When she is also silent, when no contact stretches longer than you imagined, when every fiber in you wants to break first, that is when patience becomes the sharpest weapon you possess. Understand this: the human mind is not designed for uncertainty. It craves closure. It begs for answers. That is why silence feels like torture. It offers no closure, no explanation, no guarantee. And so the mind begins to scream, "Do something, reach out, break the silence, at least then you'll know where you stand." But patience whispers the opposite. Wait, hold, do not move until it is time. Why is this so powerful? Because the person who can sit in uncertainty without shattering holds the kind of strength that is nearly unbreakable. Most people can handle action, they can handle noise, they can even handle conflict, but very few can handle waiting. Very few can sit in silence day after day without giving in to fear or desperation. That is why patience is not weakness, patience is dominance. Think of a chess master. The strongest players are not the ones who move first or fastest. They are the ones who wait, who watch, who hold back their hand until the exact moment strikes. Patience allows them to see the board clearly, while their opponent burns energy making reckless moves. The same principle applies here. If she is silent and you are silent, the one who holds patience longest controls the outcome. The one who caves first loses ground. But here's the part most people miss. Patience is not just about waiting for her. It is about waiting for yourself. You are not only giving her space, you are giving yourself space to grow into the person you were meant to be. Every day you hold, you are training your emotions. You are teaching yourself that desire does not control you. You are proving that fear does not dictate your choices. You are mastering the art of restraint. And restraint is what separates those who collapse from those who rise. Impatience is what destroys progress. Think about how many times in life people sabotage themselves by moving too soon. They give up on the workout just before the results show. They quit the business just before the breakthrough arrives. They walk away from discipline just before the transformation happens. The same applies to no contact. Impatience is the trap that ruins everything silence was designed to create. Patience, on the other hand, creates magnetic strength, because when you do not rush, you do not chase, you do not break, you stand out. In a world full of impulsive people who cannot sit still for even a week, the person who holds steady for months shines like fire in the dark. That kind of patience cannot be ignored. And here is something even more powerful: patience earns respect. If she does come back, she will remember the silence. She will notice that you did not beg, you did not collapse, you did not lose yourself. That respect is priceless. It tells her you are not controlled by emotions but guided by discipline, and whether she admits it or not, that respect changes the way she sees you. But if she never comes back, patience still wins, because what you gain through holding, strength, discipline, clarity, becomes yours forever. It carries into every relationship, every goal, every battle you will face in life. Patience is not wasted, because patience is practice for greatness. So hold steady. Do not rush to fill the void. Do not let the discomfort of silence push you into weakness. Sit in the fire of waiting and let it burn away the parts of you that were fragile. Let patience carve you into someone unshakable, because the one who controls time controls the game, and the one who controls themselves controls everything. Silence is not easy. Waiting is not easy. But that is exactly why patience is power. It is rare, it is uncommon, and it belongs only to those willing to endure when everyone else is breaking. Be that person, hold the line, because in the end, the silence will break. The only question is, will you still be standing when it does? There is a victory hidden in the silence, but it is not the victory most people look for. It is not about her calling first. It is not about her realizing what she lost. It is not about her coming back in regret. That is the shallow definition of winning. The real victory, the inner victory, is becoming someone who no longer depends on her reaction to define your strength. This is the secret most overlook. They think the end of no contact is measured by her return. They think silence is only successful if it pulls her back into their life. But that mindset is built on weakness. Because if your peace depends on her decision, you are still chained to her. You are still giving her power over your emotions, your growth, your worth. True victory comes when you no longer need that chain. The silence gives you a choice: collapse into desperation or rise into independence. Every day you endure without reaching out, without breaking, without begging, you are carving out a stronger version of yourself. And that stronger version does not wait to be validated by anyone. That stronger version stands tall on his own foundation. Think of the person you are becoming right now. Each workout you push through, each hour of discipline you keep, each goal you pursue while she is silent. These are not just habits. These are bricks being laid into the structure of someone unshakable, someone who can stand without her, without anyone. And when you can stand alone, then and only then can you stand tall with another. The inner victory is not about outlasting her silence. It's about conquering your own. It's about silencing the voice inside you that says you need her to be whole. That voice is a lie. You were never incomplete. You were never broken. You only forgot the power you already carried. And silence, as brutal as it feels, is the tool that reminds you. Here's the paradox. If she comes back and you have not grown, you lose. Because you will fall back into the same cycle that tore you apart before. But if she comes back and you have transformed, you win twice. You win her respect and you win yourself. And if she never comes back, you still win, because the person you've become in her absence will take you further than she ever could. Inner victory is the kind that lasts forever. It is not tied to one relationship, one silence, one outcome. It bleeds into every part of your life. The discipline you learn here will serve you in your career, in your health, in your future relationships, in your battles with fear and doubt. The strength you build in this quiet season is not temporary. It is eternal. So don't measure your progress by whether her phone lights up your screen. Measure it by whether your reflection shows a stronger person than yesterday. Don't measure it by whether she misses you. Measure it by whether you miss the weaker version of yourself you've left behind. Don't measure it by her silence. Measure it by your growth. Because here is the truth. No matter what she does, you are already winning if you are rising. You are already victorious if you no longer fear the silence. And that victory cannot be taken away, not by her, not by anyone. This is the beauty of the inner victory. It frees you. It releases you from the prison of waiting on someone else's choices. It turns silence from punishment into preparation. It makes you dangerous, not to her, but to every doubt, every weakness, every fear that once controlled you. So embrace it. Let the silence shape you. Let it cut you down where you are fragile and rebuild you where you are strong. Because when the silence ends, she may see the new you, or she may not, but either way you will see yourself. And that is the victory that matters most. So here we are. The question still echoes. What if she's also doing no contact with you? You've sat in the silence. You've wrestled with the discomfort. You've faced the fear. And now it's time to decide who you will be on the other side of this. The answer is simple, but not easy. Do not chase. Do not break. Do not beg. Because every time you chase, you give away your power. Every time you break, you prove you cannot stand in the fire. Every time you beg, you show that your worth depends on someone else's choice. That is not who you are meant to be. That is not the destiny waiting for you. Instead, grow, build, become. Use this silence as fuel. Every moment you feel the urge to reach out, turn it inward, lift the weight, read the book, build the business, sharpen the skill, chase the vision that has been waiting for your attention. Because the truth is, the best revenge against rejection is not anger, it is elevation. It is rising so high that the silence can no longer touch you. If she comes back, let her find someone unrecognizable, not in appearance alone, but in strength, in purpose, in presence. Let her see a man or woman who no longer needs validation to feel alive. Let her see the glow of someone who has been forged in solitude. That is power, that is respect, that is transformation. And if she never comes back, then you still win. Because you no longer need her to define you. You no longer measure yourself by her attention. You no longer crumble at her absence. You stand tall on your own, fueled by a fire she did not light and cannot extinguish. That is the ultimate freedom. So what do you do now? You choose. You choose strength over weakness. You choose discipline over desperation. You choose silence not as punishment, but as preparation. You choose to stop asking, what is she doing? And start asking, what am I building? Who am I becoming? The silence will not last forever. At some point, the phone will ring, or it won't. The door will open, or it won't. But when that moment arrives, the outcome won't matter. What will matter is who you became in the waiting. Did you shrink, or did you rise? Did you collapse, or did you conquer? Did you waste the silence, or did you transform through it? Because here is the truth you cannot escape. The silence will either break you, or it will build you. And the choice belongs to you, not her. Anyone else? You. So stand tall, hold steady, do not move from your ground. Let the silence do its work. Let it strip away the weak parts of you. Let it reveal the strength you forgot you had. And when the day comes, when the silence ends, you will not be the same. You will be stronger, sharper, wiser, unstoppable. The call to action is clear. Stop waiting, start building, stop worrying, start rising, stop chasing, start becoming. Because no contact is not about who breaks first, it is about who grows most. And when you grow, you win. Every single time. So remember this, if she comes back, you win. If she doesn't, you still win. The silence is not your enemy. The silence is your training ground. And you are ready. Now choose strength, choose patience, choose growth.